Everyone, blockades across the country, shut it down. Except the 401. I haven't seen any blockades across the 401 yet. Now imagine, just quickly, let's do a quick thought experiment. If I told you that the blockades were mass white supremacists blocking critical transport infrastructure, how quickly do you think those people would be removed? I think very, very quickly. If you were saying, we want less immigration, or whatever, traditional old stock Canadians or something to that effect, if you said any of that kind of stuff, you would be removed right away. Not one question. Your rights don't exist because you're whatever. You get to be punched in the face, right? You're a Nazi, right? That's the media's take on things, right? However, what if I told you they were protesting environmental tyranny, I suppose, on behalf of a tribe that can't possibly speak for themselves? Would those protesters be removed right away? Well, it's complicated. How about when those protesters tick off people who are just trying to get to work? Here's a couple of different approaches that I'm going to show you across this video. What is happening in Canada right now across our critical transportation infrastructure? People are blocking it. People are making it unsafe for use. And they're doing it in the name of, environmentalism, and in the name of a tribe that can't possibly speak for themselves. So these guys have to. And I'm not sure how many Wet'suwet'en tribe members are on this bridge blockading, but the people that I've seen on Twitter have said, these people don't represent us. And they claim to also represent Wet'suwet'en tribe. So I think it's really interesting how many members of this tribe across the country are feeling like on Twitter they need to defend themselves and go and blockade things. I think this is probably, and I've seen lots of Twitter discussions about foreign funding of exactly protests just like this. So this is going to get heated, and even more heated because the police aren't doing anything with the people doing the blockading, right? Rule of law is an application of the law to everyone, regardless of your race, gender, ethnicity, anything like that. All of those things, right? It's application of the law to everyone in a fair and equal way. That's what rule of law means. Is Canada a rule of law country? Doesn't seem so anymore. Here's the first way you can approach a group of people blockading a bridge with the consent of the police. This is, in my opinion, the worst way. Here we go. Sorry if the volume's not loud enough. Link is in the description. Here we go.
Money, I know, like, I'm just a citizen, all right? Hey, what's the deal? That bridge is blocked too. This is unfair. Like, I have to get across to the bridge. I gotta be at my gym at 6 o'clock. That bridge is blocked. This bridge is blocked. What's the deal? You know, are you trying to garner support? Because this is not the way to do it. You know, if I don't get there, I don't teach. So I got probably 40 people waiting for me.
What I can tell you is that we can't let you across this bridge right now. We've got people on the bridge. It would be unsafe to let singular cars through.
Okay, fair enough, but all of you people, I mean, I understand, okay, that you have a political point to make, you're against the pipeline, all that stuff, and you want to do this for your outlook on life, and I'm not arguing with your right to have that outlook. I might even agree with your outlook, but the point is, I need to get across the bridge. No. How am I supposed to do that? No. Money, I know, like, I'm just...
And so, begging a group of people who are clearly, not listening, right? Like you could see kind of the vacant look in her eye. She had no intention of listening. Oh, it's not safe if we let singular cars through. Yeah, okay, lady. Sure, it's probably not safe to stand on a roadway either because, people are going to drive on the road. Usually, that's what they're for. That's what people pay taxes for. And your political stunt is, a political stunt and inappropriate. Here is the RCMP arresting a citizen for removing the garbage from the highway. Okay, this is Canada Proud, and they're branded this, but this video has been bouncing around. This is just incredible, and I mean, who could have predicted this, right? Okay, dripping with sarcasm. You got that? Okay, here we go.
Over here, hey, put that stuff down. Hey.
Show your faces. Show your faces.
Their obsession.
You're welcome to videotape us. We've been here for all day.
down, you'd arrest us.
So this is going to happen in front of everybody?
He's removing
Did
garbage.
you get this?
He's removing
I'm
garbage.
being arrested.
Not listening to
Well,
my
these
directions,
guys.
okay?
There is no violence. He's not been violent.
Just threw across my
He has moved
items.
He is
So this is what happens in Justin Trudeau's Canada if you are done with the RCMP allowing protesters to blockade highways, because that is what is happening. Okay, here is the CBC is reporting. Well, no, I'm going to jump ahead a little bit and then we'll come back to this. Hold on. Yeah, I was going to show you that the CBC is reporting that Ottawa is taking this very seriously. But I want to show you first that it's somebody telling these RCMP officers not to arrest these people. And that's not just me making things up. This is reported news. So first I'm going to show you the Post Millennial, and then I'm going to show you Global News. Global News has the quote too. And I found it shocking. Like, I found this quote shocking and I needed to confirm it. So yeah. Here's the Post Millennial article first. Vancouver Island man arrested for tearing down anti-pipeline blockade. One Vancouver Island resident was arrested yesterday as residents tear down a blockade that was stopping access to a highway, according to Global News. The blockade was erected by protesters who are opposed to a coastal gas-linked pipeline being built across northern British Columbia. The pipeline is being built over traditional Wet'suwet'en territory. These protesters were soon met by local residents who attempted to pull down the barricades. Many of the residents were wearing masks, and the police attempted to divide the two sides. The confrontation was so heated that one resident drove a truck through the barriers. We're going to get to that. I'm not even done showing you all the crazy stuff that's happened. During this one man was arrested for obstruction after he repeatedly tore down the barriers erected by the protesters. Police refused to arrest any of the protesters who were blocking the highway as they did not have orders from their superiors to do so. Huh? Do you think that if you were breaking the law, that they would check with their superiors if they had okay to arrest you? Hey, this guy's breaking the law. So I wanted to make sure it wasn't just the Post Millennial being cavalier, and I trust them, but there are people out there who like to say, that's not a good source. Fine. I'll get lots of sources, and you can talk about that. Here's Global News, and they say essentially the same thing, and here's the same quote. Police have yet to comment on the blockade, but an officer at the scene told the group of residents RCMP couldn't clear the protesters' blockade without direction from their superiors. And that was met with, we pay taxes to use these highways, that's our right, one woman said to the police. Quote, if we come out and block the highway, you'd arrest us. Another added, a member of the group, they're going to be allowed to just start blocking everything up right across this friggin' country. And it appears so. And we're going to move on to how serious Ottawa is taking this, but then I'm going to show you that there's still more vandalism. Like, there's still more vandalism. It is not localized. It is not limited. It is across the country, and it is very concerning. Here's CBC News. It says the president and CEO of CN Rail said the impact of the blockades are, quote, harming the country's reputation as a stable and viable supply chain partner. Yeah, Ottawa very concerned about blockades, as CN Rail says it will close significant parts of its network. And I'm not going to go through this, but I just want to show you that, yes, they are saying they're taking this seriously, but they're still not instructing their officers to do much different. The officers aren't following through, and Bex is doing good reporting on the lackluster response of the RCMP's enforcement for a lot of the court-ordered protections and blockades and etc. It's incredible what's going on. It's absolutely against the spirit of the rule of law, and it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable that so many people think they're doing good by standing in these protests on these bridges or highways and believing they're doing good by doing this. Like, it's just incredible. Like, how brainwashed do you have to be? How much do you have to not pay attention to the reality of the world to think that this is a good use of your time? My goodness. So here's RCMP said officers noticed on Friday support beams had been cut and some bolts loosened on Lamprey Creek Bridge, making it unsafe to support any kind of traffic. That's terrorism. And that's not my words. That's Spencer Fernando on Twitter, but that's terrorism, right? Here's Spencer. This is terrorism. Yeah, it is. So they're leveraging terrorist guerrilla tactics to force their political will. It's inappropriate. We have a House of Commons for a reason. That is where the laws are created. That is where the debates are had, not on bridges and via terrorism. If you don't give us what we want, we'll make your infrastructure unusable. That's terrorism. Here's the Prince George Citizen Bridge at protest site damage, tires spiked. A bridge leading to where the Coastal GasLink pipeline project is being greeted with opposition has been repaired after RCMP noticed it had been vandalized while rounding up protesters over the weekend. RCMP said officers noticed on Friday that support beams had been cut and some bolts loosened on Lamprey Creek Bridge, making it unsafe to support any kind of traffic. By Saturday, repairs had been completed and made safe, and a criminal investigation launched. Ooh. Can't wait to find out what they find. Okay, here's the last story for today, and for this morning anyway. And the way they report this and what actually happened are different. And I'm going to show you really clearly that they're different, and then show you a news article that shows you they're different. It says, well, I'll read it and then I'll play it, and then we'll watch video from inside the truck. Pickup truck, 10 check. 10 years independent is reporting. Pickup truck breaks through Highway 19 blockade near Courtney. And here it is.
The first frames of this clip show a pickup truck driving through a wooden barrier that had been set up to block Highway 19 at the Cumberland exit. The driver had taken the wrong way up the off-ramp, went through the barrier, then eventually crossed the grass median to proceed south.
So the barrier, okay, I'll read the little blurb here. It says a pickup truck broke through an anti-pipeline blockade on Highway 19 near Courtney Monday. The vehicle headed the wrong way up a northbound exit 117 and broke through a wooden barricade after hitting cones across the grass divider before driving away southbound. Now, I saw the comments on Twitter talking about how this had been misreported, so there may be other examples of the misreporting. I just grabbed the first Google result and went with that. But here's what actually happened. There's one of the protesters actually throws the debris, the board in front of the truck as it's driving on the wrong side. So we'll see that in this clip. So I kept it down because they've got like music playing, and it's really, I mean, it's kind of funny. Here we go. There he is. You see him? There he is. He's right there. Boom. Can you imagine? What an insane thing to do. What a completely out to lunch. Like, humans are really, really fragile, right? If you've got a pickup truck driving towards you and you've got a board and you throw the board at the pickup truck, that could go bad in so many ways. Like, it's just, you lose every time. The board, the pickup truck, you lose. Like, doing that is just crazy from a personal safety perspective. I don't think you look at that until you're like a parent. I was like, oh my, his head. Anyway, regardless of all that, I think it's completely and utterly ridiculous that a police officer, multiple police officers were around, and this is the way it's reported. Really, just absolutely insane. And the fact that lawlessness, like, you can't drive the wrong way on the wrong side of the road. That's not good. You can't do that, right? But in this circumstance, you can't block the highway either. The police are sitting there choosing to apply the law unevenly, more to one group of people than another. And this is not our legal system, not the way it is intended. Anyway, this is not rule of law, and this is very concerning that the police are being allowed, or the police are not allowed to do their jobs, right? The police are stymied from doing their jobs because their supervisors have not told them to do so, have not told them to enforce the law on this group. Here's the newspaper article from Global. Video shows man pushing plywood into truck's path as it drives through BC highway blockade. No, we didn't hallucinate that. That happened, right? That happened. Wild. And the police, who we pay with our tax dollars to protect and serve and to make sure that highways and infrastructure are accessible by our transportation, everything, they're not doing their job. Why not? Because their supervisors told them not to. Inappropriate. Absolutely horrendous. Oh, watch your head. Thanks for watching, everybody. Check out CanadaPoly.com and have a wonderful, wonderful